Playlist 8. Skeletons with No Story. Twilight Truths. High in the Indian Himalayas, nearly 16,000 feet above sea level, lies a small glacial lake frozen for most of the year. When it thaws during warmer months, it reveals a chilling sight. Hundreds of human skeletons scattered around and beneath its icy waters. Locals call it Roopkund, but most know it by a far more ominous name, Skeleton Lake. First discovered by a British forest ranger in 1942, the lake has puzzled researchers and haunted folklore for generations. At first glance, it looked like a single tragic event had occurred, some ancient pilgrimage gone terribly wrong. But the truth, as science has slowly revealed, is far stranger and more fragmented than anyone expected. A frozen crime scene. The bones, many still with flesh, hair, and clothing remarkably preserved by the cold, number in the hundreds. Initial theories ranged from an army ambushed by an avalanche to famine victims to ancient suicides or rituals gone dark. But the bodies weren't just tossed about like in a sudden disaster. Many were partially buried. Some formed small groupings. It looked like something had happened here more than once. Even more curious, nearly all the visible skulls show similar damage. Blunt force trauma, often at the top of the head. Not blade wounds, not arrows, but something round, heavy, and fast, as if the sky itself had attacked them. Death by hail? Seriously? Local legends long told of a wrathful goddess punishing a group of travelers who defiled her mountain sanctuary. The story goes, a royal procession was crossing the mountains, including women, dancers, and nobles. They ignored warnings. The goddess responded with a storm of iron, killing them all. For a long time, scientists dismissed this as a myth. But forensic analysis of the skeletons in the early 2000s raised eyebrows. The cranial damage was consistent with being struck by large, round objects, similar to baseball-sized hailstones. Some theorized that a freak high-altitude hailstorm may have been the deadly cause. Sound crazy? Not in the Himalayas. In some regions, hailstones can grow big enough to kill. But even if that explains one group, it doesn't explain what came next. DNA, the mystery multiplies. In 2019, a genetic study blew open the mystery. Researchers analyzed the DNA of 38 individuals pulled from Roopkund Lake. They expected a single population, maybe a local tribe or isolated travelers. Instead, they found three very different groups. 1. A South Asian group, locals from the Indian subcontinent, likely pilgrims. 2. A Mediterranean group, people with Greek-like ancestry, thousands of miles from home. 3. A Southeast Asian group, a handful of individuals possibly from Southeast Asia like Thailand or Malaysia. Even more mind-bending? The groups didn't all die at the same time. Carbon dating showed that the South Asian individuals died between the 7th and 10th centuries. But the Mediterranean group died roughly 1,000 years later, around the 1800s. Yet all their remains somehow ended up in the same place, preserved in the same way, stacked in nature's cold vault. No one knows why a group of Greeks, or people genetically similar to them, would be hiking in one of the most remote parts of India's mountains in the 19th century. There's no historical record, no travel logs, no explanation. Just silence, snow, and bones. So, what happened? Honestly, no one knows. That's not a cop-out. It's a confession. Skeleton Lake defies neat answers. Here's what we do know. The trauma is real. Some were likely killed by hailstorms. The journeys were intentional. These weren't lost hikers. They were moving in groups. The dead span centuries, and cultures, and climates. And the lake remains a burial site for reasons still unknown. Could it be a pilgrimage site that attracted visitors across eras, ending in tragedy more than once? Possibly. Could it have been used as a remote place for unrecorded executions, ritual sacrifices, or off-the-books mass burials? It's not ruled out. Others whisper of something more, supernatural. Some say the lake is cursed. Others believe it's a thin place, a spot where the boundary between our world and others wears thin. The silence beneath the iced Roopkund Lake holds on to its dead. It offers clues, but never the whole story. Just when researchers think they've pinned it down, another mystery slides out from under the ice. The lake isn't large, only about 40 meters across, but it's earned a big reputation. Satellite images show scattered bones even outside the central area. Some hikers report feeling watched. Others speak of the air changing, heavy and tight when the skeletons appear. Superstition? Sure. but walk among 200 bleached skulls on a windswept ridge and see how you feel. Today, India has restricted access to the area due to tourism damage and preservation concerns. Still, Skeleton Lake continues to beckon adventurers, scientists, and seekers of strange truths. The takeaway: some mysteries never truly get solved. Not every story has a clear beginning, middle, and end. Roopkund is a story without a final chapter. A mass grave of secrets scattered across centuries where each skeleton has its own tale to tell, and none of them are finished. It reminds us of something humbling. The Earth doesn't owe us closure. Sometimes it just gives us the cold facts and leaves us to wander in the fog.